Well, hello, everybody. I'm Vince Ferragamo, former Los Angeles Rams quarterback, and I'm here with 20-year NFL legend and Hall of Famer Jackie Slater for this week's edition of OnPoint Live, Jackie. And we're not in studio, as you can see. We're at the Orange County Rescue Mission in Tustin, California. And with Christmas only 1 week away, we thought we'd focus on the good in the community, Jackie. And here we are at the Orange County Rescue Mission. And before we talk more football, we got to talk about this wonderful place and what it means to so many people who need this help.
It means so much, Vince, and that's what attracted me to this place. I've been here before, and I've seen the great work that they do here.
Yeah.
They're interacting with the community, they're interacting with people, and instilling hope. Hope for the future, hope for tomorrow. A lot of the people who come here, they're desperate. They feel, like they're not a part of society. And the loving folks here has a unique ability. It seems like everybody that I've talked to here have a unique ability to wrap their arms around people and love them and show them that they care.
Right.
Three of the people that we've met since we've been here is Derrick Burton. He is the chief minister. Chief Ministry Officer, Amy Thornton, the Director of Development, and Anna Song, the Chief Development Officer. These people, they have hearts for people. They love what they're doing, and coming alongside of these people is the biggest part of their work. And it's just really good for you and I to be in this environment and to meet these folks,
Right.
and come alongside them in the little effort that we're putting forward.
We are, and we're in the cafeteria tonight, Jackie, and they're going to have some great meals on half of the rescue mission. They're going to be serving a pasta tonight, which would be really great to have.
And you and I
yeah.
happen to know this place
Yeah.
personally because we eat there all the time.
Roma d'Italia has been so kind to help with the food tonight.
Roma
That's great.
d'Italia from Old Town Tustin.
That's right. Not too far. Only about a few minutes away.
How many decades? I don't know how many decades they've been around. But
well, who's running it now? The grandkids are,
the
right?
grandkids are running it now. And you and I have been eating at this place for 30 years, and we still love it. So I'm delighted to be able to bring a meal from Roma d'Italia in Old Town Tustin down here to the rescue mission and for these families.
And to provide meals and gifts like this tonight, Jackie, we also have some giveaways too. We've got some signed football, some hats. I think everybody will enjoy because
we're gonna raffle.
Once this game starts, it's going to get kind of crazy in here.
Oh yeah, They got a lot of football fans staying here too, and I'm looking forward to meeting this young guy, Robert Beard. I guess he's been here a short period of time.
He's a big Rams fan, right?
Big Rams fan, a big football fan. So it's going to be a welcoming community for us with football, as well as just getting to meet these warm people.
Well, you're talking about football. We might as well recap what happened in Week 15 of this NFL schedule, Jackie. The Rams had a big win over the Commanders, 28-20 at home. Okay, it just seems like Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford, they're just dialing in now, Jackie.
Dialing it in.
They're really getting their offense together.
Don't forget Puka.
Puka's there right there, and their defense is coming around too.
Their defense is coming around, and don't forget Ryan Wendell, the new offensive line coach. In fact,
well, I have to mention him because I got to ask you a question about Ryan Wendell and the offensive line. Okay?
Yes.
All right, we've seen this team turn around in the running game. Do you think what has been the biggest addition to this resurgence in the running game?
Ryan Wendell.
Well, Tyrone Williams is having such a great season too, Jackie. He had a big game on Sunday.
Well, there are two things we have to look at, Vince, in my opinion, relative to the Rams and their reinvigorated running game. Remember, a few years ago when McVay first got here, he had the big back Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
And he featured him. He featured him all the time with a lot of different types of runs. Mm-hmm. But this year, they got a different kind of runner. He's not as big, but he seems to be just as instinctive as any runner that I think I've ever seen, certainly with the Rams of late, in that he is explosive. He understands the blocking schemes. He accelerates into the secondary, into the line of scrimmage at times and places where the least likely amount of resistance is going to be. Yeah. He's just a really smart guy, and I think
he's not a real big guy.
Not a real big guy, but just instinctive and explosive.
Yeah, Tyrone Williams.
And I think Sean McVay understands that I need to put this guy in the soft pockets of the offensive line when we run the ball, because he's going to give us the best opportunity to be successful. Now, he had a couple of fumbles in the game this past week, but he recognized it, and he never stopped running hard. So I think him And the addition of Ryan Wendell, the offensive line coach, has reinvigorated the Rams' rushing attack. And McVay feels more comfortable running the ball now because Ryan Wendell is introducing plays that make a lot of sense. And
Right.
you know who he got those ideas from was through the Patriot organization.
Dante
and,
Scarnecchia.
And Dante
Yeah,
Scarnecchia.
for sure.
Arguably one of the best offensive line coaches that you and I have seen.
Yeah, not enough credit is given to the play of the offensive line to create the holes that running backs can run through and also protect the quarterback and be very prolific in the passing game. But Jackie, you know, when you rush for 5.6 yards per carry, like Kyren Williams has, it's amazing to see his production, and he has 152 yards rushing. When's the last time you've seen the Rams almost rush for 200 yards? When you rush for 200 yards, you're bound to win a football game.
Absolutely. Well, the last time I think we saw it was against the Cardinals a year ago when we saw them rush for, I think, 250 yards or something like that, and the game wasn't even close.
Right.
Since that time, we've seen a lot more integration of Cooper Kupp and this great quarterback, Matthew Stafford, that they have. Now this year, a rookie sensation in Puka Nacua. They're throwing the ball all over the place, even working in the rookie tight ends and all the other guys that have the ability to catch and run after the catch. So I think, you know, McVay has got to be loving it life right now because he's identified the people that can help him move the ball, and he's put those guys in isolated situations so that they can be successful.
Now, Jackie, the Rams are 7-7 right now. If the playoffs were to start today, the Rams are in.
The Rams
Can
are
you
in.
imagine? And we talked about the beginning of the year, we thought the Rams were going to have this type of resurgence late in the season.
Right.
They're not rookies anymore. These guys have been playing. But of the games remaining, what's the chances? What's going to happen? I mean, they got 3 tough games coming up. They might be able to win them all.
Well, you know, if you look at the Rams schedule, they play the Saints on Thursday nights.
Right.
And then I think it's New Year's Eve, they play at the New York Giants. And then they finish the season with the 49ers. Now, the 49ers, if they've already wrapped things up over this next couple of weeks, they're probably going to be resting a lot of their key players, not wanting to get hurt before the playoffs start, which gives the Rams an opportunity to go to San Francisco and steal a win there. When I look at the Rams schedule, and we, like you said, we talked about this, you know, when Les Snead, the general manager, and McVay and all the people in that organization decided to go and draft all of these young players. Mm-hmm. And all of these young players had that banner by their name of being team captains at their colleges and universities. They were banking on the fact that these young leaders were going to be able to come to the Ram organization and grow and grow and grow. Now, the only thing that remains to be seen is, in my opinion, is these guys have only been used to playing for the last 4 years 10 games or 11 games. You know, with
Playoffs is a different story.
Yeah, now we got to see how the team adjusts to playing 17 games. You know, they got to play another 6 games, and they don't have that big period of time to rest between the bowl games.
That's if they get into the playoffs and go beyond.
If they get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And Vince, you and I felt like they were going to be a better team at the end of the year because of the type of players that they were drafting.
Well, we wish the Rams good luck moving forward. Jackie, it'll be a good contest Thursday night against the Saints, and both those teams are 7-7, so the winner of that game will probably go on and make a push for the playoffs. So we hope the Rams can do it. They have to stay on top. You know, you're there now, but you got to keep it up.
Absolutely.
How about the Chargers? We got to talk about the Chargers here.
Oh, boy.
And the Chargers had probably one of the, if not, it probably was the worst defeat in Charger history, Jackie, losing to the arch rival, divisional rivals, the Raiders.
In history, then?
63-21.
You think it was the worst defeat?
Yeah, it was the biggest loss they've ever suffered, okay?
In history.
They fired Brandon Staley.
Yes.
They fired Tom Telesco. They fired Jay Rodgers. Okay, they're a defensive line coach.
Yes.
I mean, 3 of those guys are out. I mean, where does this team go from here on out? Is this the lowest point in team history?
Well, I don't know about all of that relative to the team. You know, they've had their ups and downs over the years, but this is pretty bad. Mm-hmm. And for the general manager and the head coach, obviously it's devastating. I think they'll both probably land on their feet. But for the organization, I think those are the people who have decided that this is as low as we're going to allow the team to go right now. So they're moving on,
Right.
and with them moving on, Vince, comes a lot of other and a lot of other things. If for example, if I were a player on the on the Charger roster right now, I would look at this and I would say that they have, dismantled the leadership of this team, and they're going to dismantle anything and everything that does not work. And so, if I was a player, I would say to myself, I don't want to be a part of the problem that is perceived to be broken. I want to be a guy who when they look at me, they say,
I got to keep this guy.
we got to keep this guy because he's giving us a chance to win. So for the players,
But Jackie,
and
when
if
I look
any
at
of them
this
are
team,
watching,
when I look at this team after that game on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
if I was a player on the Chargers, I'd have a hard time sleeping at night, just knowing what we did on the field. I mean, I can't live with myself, and I think you're right. I think you have to pick it up as an individual. And how are they going to play the rest of the year out? They have to go out and play like they've never played before. I mean, and make a good showing before the season's out. At least give, like you say, hope for next year.
Yeah.
Say what's to come. I mean, we got to change this whole program around. I mean, Dean Spanos has got a lot of work cut out for him moving forward, and I think they're going to have a big resurrection of some sort at this level to keep these guys, to get them ready to play football.
Yeah. Well, and I think you're primarily talking about the guys who have long contracts, big contracts, making a lot of money, and they can't be touched. But for the guy, the average guy on the roster, he's got to be thinking beyond anything that the team is doing other than, cleaning house.
Yeah.
This guy's got to be thinking, if it were me, and I was always just a rank and file player, if it were me, I'm thinking I've got to go and be the very best football player I can be for the remainder of this season, so that ownership and the new leaders, when they come in and evaluate the roster, they will look at me and say, hey, we got to keep this guy because he never quit, he never stopped playing, never stopped giving us his best, and we can win with that kind of effort. That's what. Now, Vince, there's something else that I want to bring to your attention, because I know you were an NFL quarterback, played the game a long time at a very, very high level, both here and in Canada. But this is something that concerns me a little bit, and I'm going to read all of this because certainly don't have it all committed to memory. But it deals with their quarterback, Justin Herbert. In 4 years, now you tell me, if you were Justin Herbert, what kind of a quarterback would you be growing to be, or what would your mental state be after these circumstances? I'm going to read the circumstances to you, okay? In 4 years of college football at Oregon, Justin Herbert had 3 head coaches. He had 3 offensive coordinators. He had 2 men that shared that job when he was a sophomore. He had 2 quarterback coaches. In 4 years of pro football with the Chargers, Vince, he's had 3 head coaches, 3 offensive coordinators, 3 quarterback coaches. He will be 26 years old in 2024, his 9th season in college and pro football. He will have his 7th head coach in those 9 years, and likely his 7th offensive coordinator and 6th quarterback coach. The Chargers had no control over those first 4 years, but if the Chargers hand Herbert his 4th head coach, 4th offensive coordinator, 4th quarterback coach since 2020, is there any way to maximize the talent of a talented guy like him, a franchise quarterback, when you got that much change? What would you be mentally if that were you?
Well, I'm telling you, stability for the player has to do with the way he's informed about certain plays and how he's coached. Okay, there has been a lack of continuity from one year to the next, because it all changes when you get rid of one coach, bring in a new offensive coordinator, so it's a whole different plan of attack. It's different style of football, okay? So what I think it definitely has an impact on the way you perform as a player. I know Justin Herbert has great talent, as we've seen. It sure be nice to have that coach that he's familiar with, that has a great background, because the head coach and coach, as you've seen throughout this league, the greatest players have always had that connection between either offensive coordinator, head coach, and quarterback.
Continuity.
The continuity and that development, because he's still a young quarterback. He's 26 years old. I mean, so they really need to develop something to that effect.
Not only is he a young quarterback and 26 years old, but they just made him one of the highest paid players in the NFL at his position.
Because they believe in his ability and the way he throws the football, the way he can quarterback. And so I think after moving forward, I think the Chargers are really going to have to develop that one key element in their team and that continuity of coaching. Because, they've had a lot of coaches, as you said, come and go. You really have to make sure you've got the right people in place for your people. Because sometimes knowing the athlete and knowing how to motivate that athlete, that's one of the jobs of the coaches,
right,
to figure out how to do that. What do I have to do to instill in this player to get the best from him? What do I have to give him as far as information that he can be very successful on the field?
Right.
So I
it
think
just
it's
seems
going
like,
to be very different.
I will say this, Vince. I played with 21 different starting quarterbacks, 21 different guys, and you were one of the very best that I played with. And everybody had their own nuances. They had their own interaction with the coordinator, different little things that were going on that we had no idea about. And those little things helped make these guys, successful, the ones that were having
Well, we
success.
had Ray Malavasi was the head coach when I was playing. Now, I didn't know Ray that well, but we had similar backgrounds. We're both Italian, so we had to go way back. I mean, we both understood each other from, just body language and way we would just interact. Mm-hmm. And so that goes a long way with knowing a guy and being able to be coached by that guy for a long period of time. It's almost like I knew him from way back when.
Right.
But, so these are things that really don't really come out in the open because you really don't know how to quantify those kind of things. But, hey, they may make a difference.
They may make a difference.
Players. So, well, that's where our local team. So we'll be right back right after this to talk more about the NFL, and we'll have a lot more people coming in to the Orange County Rescue Mission pretty soon. It's going to get real crazy and loud in here, Jackie, so don't go away. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to OnPoint Live. We're here at the Orange County Rescue Mission, and what a great night this is going to be for Monday Night Football. And Jackie, you got to introduce one of our special guests here at the Orange County Rescue Mission.
There's no doubt about it, Vince. Derrick Burton, he's the Chief Ministry Officer here at the Orange County Rescue Mission. And thank you so much for opening up the doors for Vince and I to come here and join you during this holiday season. It's been amazing to see all these kids come in, and I know they're going to enjoy the food because I'm overweight because I eat this food all the time. So I know we're going to have a good time. But one of the reasons why Vince and I were kind of drawn to coming down here and coming alongside you during the holiday seasons is because primarily this is a faith-based ministry here.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Derrick, what you're able to get accomplished with these families.
Well, we're blessed to be able to, help those that come through our door. Number one, I want to thank y'all for coming here, and I want to thank you, for the opportunity we get to hang out with y'all. But the Orange County Rescue Mission is a 18 to 24 month transitional housing facility, and this is designed to help those that are coming out of homelessness or experiencing homelessness. And we house men, women, and children, like I said, for up to 18 to 24 months. And we make sure that everybody has an individualized treatment plan. We want them to be able to come in and just let go of all the problems. So we offer all the food, all the shelter, the clothing, and we meet all of the needs so that when they come in, all they got to do is just focus on building their lives once again, reuniting with children, building family relationships, growing spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. So when they leave here, they can be more self-sustainable.
Derrick, I did some research on the Orange County Rescue Mission, and I found out that 4% of the gross income goes to administration costs. All the great things that you guys do here, all the programs that you set up, how do you make ends meet with that?
Well, this is our organization is privately funded. We take no government funds at all because, like Jackie said, this is a ministry. Yeah. So we want to make sure that we can give the students what they need. and God has provided. He continues to provide. And like I said, and it's all through private donations, no government funding at all.
Derrick, we've also talked about, when you give as organizations, it's time to Christmas, people are generous because of the holiday spirit they have. But you know what? That's what happens. And then at the first of the year, everybody drops off. But you guys continue to give back 365 days a year.
Yeah.
I mean, how many kids and families do you support here at the Orange County Rescue Mission?
Well, right now we're at about 89% occupancy.
Wow.
You know what I mean? 90% occupancy. So we can't stop because we continually have people coming through our doors seeking help and asking for help. So we can't stop. We always have to do 3 meals every day. We have families that are coming in with kids. They need diapers. They need clothes. They need shoes. They need hygiene. They need everything. So we can't stop what we do because there's people that's coming in that needing help.
When I got here today, you and I were visiting a little bit earlier, and I asked you. I said, "Do you think we're gonna have any football fans here? They're gonna want to watch the game?" You say, "Oh yeah, there'll be football fans, a lot of them." And then you told me about the housing and how it's set up, and you said that on the second floor over here is the men's floor, you said.
Yes.
And that floor during NFL football games
is packed.
So tell me a little bit about what it's like on an NFL Sunday over there on the second floor.
Well, the actually Sundays, because the students, they volunteer, majority of the week. So on Sundays, they kind of get a break. So, they go to church, and then after that, we open up the TV rooms. And especially during football season, man, you got all the guys in there, and you can see they wear their jerseys, that of their favorite teams, and they're in there, they're hooting and hollering, on a Sunday because they love football.
Is there any? What about food? Is there some good food?
Oh yeah, we got some good food going on. Yeah. Again, like I said, we 3 days a week, so they don't get continental breakfast. We get 3 hot meals every day. And 7 days a week.
Yes.
Because again, we want people to come in here. I was telling one of my coworkers, especially during this time of Christmas, the kids, they didn't ask to be here. So we want this to be such a memorial time for them. We want this to be a time where they were like, hey, you know what? Yeah, we was at the Orange County Rescue Mission, but oh my God, they did this, they did that. We had Miracle at the Mission just this Saturday where the community just really came around and they had a toy drive and we had good food. We had volunteers coming in and just being a blessing to all of the students that are here.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can tell Derrick I can tell that you're a real blessing for this place, for this community, and I want to commend you for the work that you're doing, and
thank you,
and encourage you to continue it. Now, another question I remember asking you, and I'm looking forward to meeting this person. I asked you, I said, are there any diehard football fans? What's the guy that jumped out at you when you think about it? And you mentioned a guy named Robert Beard.
Yeah.
And when you told me his name, I said, okay, well, how long has he been here? And surprisingly, you said not very long.
Right.
He just came in and jumped in. And just tell me about Robert.
Yeah. Well, Robert is one of our veterans. And he's come here.
6 months. He's a veteran.
No, veteran from the armed forces.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
from the armed forces. We have 9 facilities, and one of the facilities that we operate is designed only for veterans and their family. That's a 71-bed facility, and Robert is one of the veterans that live there, right? And he comes over every day, and he's a fan. He's a football fan. But sorry, he went back to the facility tonight, so he's not here. Yeah, so he's not here. So he went back to where, because they had another event happening over there tonight again, where the community rallies around our veteran, and they was having a barbecue for the veteran and handing out Christmas presents for the kids over there. Cool, right? So he went back there. He wanted to be a part of that.
Cool.
Yeah,
Derrick sounds like a great guy.
Does the Double R Ranch? That's an interesting program that you have here. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, the Double R Ranch, that's operating in a new facility that we just acquired in Silverado Canyon, and that's going to be able to house up to 150 men, women, and children. But that's totally outdoors, and it's all about animal therapy. You know, we have horses and goats, and we're gonna have pigs and chickens and all of those things out there.
The kids
And,
get excited.
oh my gosh, the kids love it when they get to go out there. But you know, that is a therapy that changes people's lives because they have to get out of themselves and get to that place where they're starting to take care of something else. And we've seen guys come out of prison, come out of different lifestyles, jails, gangs, and you can see them walking around with a baby goat, feeding it with a bottle. You know what I mean? And you know, it just changes their heart.
lives, yeah.
It changes their heart. It changes their perspective. So you know, the animal therapy is very powerful tool that we use in order for recovery and also for mental health. You know, we use it for those two things because it's life changing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Well,
Yeah.
Derrick, we really have to thank you so much for making this opportunity a reality. And you know, all the decorations, everything you have here, the Christmas trees, the kids are really enjoying it. Now they're watching TV. They're really starting to serve the meals here. Everybody's excited. And
We're gonna have the game on some big screens here, right?
Oh yeah, we got two big screens on the side of us.
On the side.
well, that'll be fun, Jackie.
It will be.
Yeah,
It will be.
we're going to get a lot of questions, I think, buddy.
I do too. We're gonna open it up in a little while and just start talking with some of the folks and finding out, you know, their curiosities, anything they want to ask us. And then we got some balls. We got some balls and some caps. We want to give raffle off so some of the kids can take some of these things home.
Yeah.
Just have fun. When I envision coming here, Derrick, I envision coming here and coming in a spirit that would lighten the burden of people's souls.
Yes.
Because you expressed that to me being a mission here, and that's what we want to be about.
Right. Again, I want this to be a memorable time in people's lives.
Absolutely.
You know, so think about the memories that we're creating for the children right
Absolutely.
now. They would say, man, when I was there, Jackie and Vince was there, man. Oh my gosh, and I won a football, and man, how excited are they gonna be?
Yeah.
And they're gonna remember that.
Yes.
And that's what we want to create. We want to create good memories. Regardless of what they experienced in the past, we want them from this moment forward to have some good memories. Yes.
Well, Derrick, again,
Derrick,
thank you,
so
man.
much, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, Derrick, so
Thank you
much.
so much
And we
for being
appreciate all the
here.
great work that you do here, and keep it up.
Thank you.
We love what you're doing here.
Thank you.
We'll be back again. Well, that's it on OnPoint Live. Stay with us. We'll be right back to talk more about the NFL schedule. Well, welcome back, Jackie, to OnPoint Live. We're here at the Orange County Rescue Mission here in Tustin, and this place is jam-packed. People are having a great time here on Monday Night Football.
They're eating some great food, waiting
man.
on the screen, waiting on the game to come on. It's going to be a fun evening.
Well, Jackie, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the Miami and Buffalo matchup that's headed up against both these teams in 3 weeks, okay, for the final game of the season. Both these teams are right there at the
Two of the
AFC
best.
East.
Two of the best.
And the Buffalo Bills team is playing. Lights out
Absolutely.
right
They're
now.
playing some of the best football as they played all season long. And these are the things that we have to consider. Miami has a 2-game lead over Buffalo at this point with 3 games to play. This is the problem for the Miami Dolphins. Their next 2 opponents are the Dallas Cowboys and the Baltimore Ravens. Buffalo's next 2 opponents are the Chargers and the New England Patriots, a combined record of 8-20. When you look at it, Vince, you have to ask yourself the question, are the Buffalo Bills the most dangerous team in pro football?
But something good happened on TV there.
Yes.
I'm telling you, Jackie, you saw the game against the Cowboys. I mean, they rushed for over 255 yards, Jackie.
A lot of yards.
I mean, Josh Allen running the ball. They're running the football. They're playing good defense. They held the Cowboys in check.
They
They
did.
pretty much took it to them, okay? This is a hot team right now. They can win the next 2 games pretty easy. The Dolphins have a tough time. Let's hope that Tyreek Hill will be healthy for that last game because he was a little banged up, man. They're going to have 2 tough games coming
That's
up.
another negative.
This is going to be
factor.
tough.
Another
I mean, it
negative
ain't
factor.
over till it's over, Jack.
Absolutely.
And the last game could boil down to who's going to the AFC East. That could happen.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we had some other good games too, Jackie. What about that Bronco game against the Lions? Oh my gosh! I thought the Broncos were going to play better than that.
I thought the Broncos would play better. In fact, I picked them to beat the Lions. But, you know, one thing happened in that game, Vince, that I wanted to ask you about and to find out how you relate to the situation. I never really had it happen to me. But what happened was the Broncos had an offsides and ended up kicking a field goal. And Sean Payton, the head coach, was mad at the official and he was mad at Russell Wilson. And what he did was he dressed down Russell Wilson, a 12-year veteran, on national TV. Now, I never had that happen to me, but did he go too far in his dealing with Russell Wilson?
That's the way Sean Payton reacts. Okay, Jackie, this is a time to be reflective in what's happened. Let's comment on this play. Let's move on. Okay, I don't fault the guy being angry and really getting down and arguing at a guy and yelling at a guy. Okay, we need to come together. We need to rally. We need to rally and make a play. And what happened? There was 3 consecutive plays. One pass play that was a score. The officials missed that call. He was mad with that play. Then they ran the ball. They had a touchdown, and it wasn't called a touchdown. The ball crosses the plane. There was 2 touchdowns. Then the third play, he's going to run a quarterback sneak. He runs a quarterback sneak. He makes the touchdown, and the official called offside.
So a lot of frustration.
Offsides, and he's yelling at Russell on the sideline. He's telling you should have seen it. Why don't you back him up? Well, for a quarterback perspective, it's kind of hard to see where the line of scrimmage is when you're right on top of it, but it's hard to not tell the guys to move back. I mean, everybody's crunching real low to drive down. And so, you know what? Hey, that happens sometimes. It's not a big deal for me. And I'm sure with Russell, it's not a big deal. They'll move on.
Yeah.
They have more games to play.
Right.
Okay? It's like everybody's frustrated. When you're frustrated, anger kind of exists. And
Right.
everybody's yelling and screaming. So,
Yeah,
hey,
but,
we'll get it together.
From my perspective as an offensive lineman, I was always watching coaches, and the coaches rarely ever yell at the quarterbacks. They get mad at the quarterback, they yell at the whole
Tom
line.
Brady. They yelled at Tom Brady.
I
They yelled
know,
at me.
yeah.
They yelled at a lot of guys,
But
man.
not as often as other people. Not as often as others.
Well, okay, then you got another team too, Jackie.
Yeah.
The Steelers.
Yeah.
They're going backwards.
Vince, you know what? I got to ask you. You know, Mike Tomlin has had a lot of success. He's been coaching for a very long time at Pittsburgh. And Vince, when I watch the Pittsburgh Steelers, it amazes me sometimes. I watch them and they'll start off flat and even dry and unproductive. I think they're like, they're not ranked very high defensively or offensively in either one of those categories. But Vince, they just seem to never stop playing for this guy.
Yes.
I mean, I personally, I don't think we should be talking about replacing Thomas. I don't think so.
I agree.
But that conversation is going on. I think he's a good coach because the players keep fighting for him.
He's the staple, of success with this Pittsburgh Steelers team for many, many years. They've been in the playoff hunt and always had a winning record. Okay, Jackie, because of his toughness, because of his desire to get the guys to play physical. That's what it's about.
Right.
Okay? Where they've lacked since Ben Roethlisberger's been gone is they lack it in the offensive categories, Jack. They need to be more sophisticated with their offensive approach. And if they were, they could open up, because this league now is based on being wide open football. Like you see what's going on with the Ravens. That's impossible to defend Lamar Jackson. They have to get to the point where they open up their entire offense. You have to be able to run the football, yes, but you have to have some diversity in the passing game, different types of plays, different protections, and really move the football both ways. You can't be one-dimensional. And I think Mike Tomlin needs to find that right offensive coordinator to make that happen.
Well, I agree with you, Vince, when I think about it, but I never discount a coach's ability to motivate his players or his team to play for 60 minutes.
And he can.
And his team play for 60 minutes.
They don't lose because they're lacking physicality.
No, they don't.
They lose because of crazy stuff. They can't get their offense in gear. They can't score enough points. They got to rely on their defense to stop it.
Right. Now, Vince, another thing I want to hit you on while we're talking about coaches and then moving on to quarterbacks.
Right.
You know, we're watching this season come to an end. And at the start of this season, way back in the spring when they had the draft, the hot topic was the quarterbacks. Which quarterbacks were being drafted, and who was drafting them, and which ones would have the most success, which ones wouldn't. So let's take a look back at the top 4 quarterbacks taken in the 2023 draft. I wanted to ask you this. They all played significant snaps this season.
Yeah.
If you could redraft the first 4 quarterbacks taken, what order are you picking and why?
Well, we said C.J. Stroud from the very beginning. I still stick with that. That guy is awesome. He's been in so much production and offense for the Houston Texans. Unbelievable what he's been able to accomplish in his first year. Now, Byron Young, that's, I mean, Bryce Young. He hasn't been with a good team. They haven't been able to figure out his abilities as a quarterback. So I don't know, but I would say that Will Levis has come on a little bit. I mean, he's been more productive than some of the other first rounders. So I would probably put him. And Anthony Richardson has been hurt most of the year. So we'll see what happens. But C.J. Young, the number one guy.
C.J. Stroud.
C.J. Stroud.
I'm inclined to agree with that.
C.J. Young. I combine them both, but no, C.J. Stroud.
I agree with you.
Okay, the last thing we have to talk about, Jackie, is Aaron Rodgers. Okay, he suffered that Achilles tendon the fourth play of the first game of the season. Okay, they are saying now, insider Jake Glazer reported last week that Aaron Rodgers will get the medical clearance to play as early as next week. Okay, and he will meet with the New York Jets' main decision makers regarding a potential return to field at some point this season. The Jets were eliminated from the playoffs last week, so they have no chance of being in the playoffs. What is all this talk about Aaron Rodgers coming back? You think that's warranted? I mean, they just wait till next year? What's going on?
Vince, I can remember back when I saw one of my teammates, a dynamic defensive tackle, pass rusher, run defender named Cody Jones, tear his Achilles tendon. And if there was anybody that I've ever met or known who would work and do the things that he needed to do to get back on the field from an Achilles tendon tear, it was Cody Jones.
Yeah.
He didn't do it, and I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to do it. It's just some things take a long time to heal, regardless of how you mentally talk to yourself or anything else. It's going to take time for that to heal. And if we really want to see devastation and a sad situation, it's going to be, in my opinion, watching Aaron Rodgers at his age try to come back from a surgery
like that.
A surgery on a critical part of our bodies to be able to play the game, run, walk, and all that. It would be what he would try to get accomplished.
I agree. There would be nothing more devastating to see him get a step on the field, re-injure that same
for another year.
Achilles tendon that he had, and that would be devastating. So, I mean, hey, I marvel at his attempt to get back in lineup, but if the team had some chance of playoff hope, then I would say, okay, if we can get him in there, if we can get him to work out, then it'll be different. But this team has no chance for the playoffs. They're better off waiting for next year, as much money as they put into him and bringing him to New York.
Right. I agree with that 100%, man.
So for all you Jets fans, hopefully next year will be the year for you guys. Anyway, we want to thank you all for watching us here. We're at the Orange County Rescue Mission. Everybody is really having fun. We're going to have to try some of this great food that they prepared tonight, Jack.
And I would like to say, Vince, also to our fans and those of you who are watching our show, look at those people around you and figure out ways, creative ways to come alongside them and make their lives a little bit better. And you'll be enriched as an individual for doing it.
Giving back is the best time. This is part of Christmas holiday that we're in, and so we hope everybody will be joining us with that Christmas spirit, Jackie.
Absolutely.
So until next time, Jack,
stay on point.